Hi guys. So this is a video that should help you take the bridge from the course homepage into the module. And this, I may be over explaining things and I apologize, but there's always a few people for whom this is not an over explanation. So I think it's good that I provide this information. But basically what I'm going to do is show you how you go from the course homepage to, and then I'm going to kind of navigate you through the very first module. I'm going to navigate you through everything that is available currently in the course as of the first week of the class. Um, I think it's important in the beginning to not open the entire class, at least during the first week. That way, folks can really focus on the foundational information in the course, and then, maybe during week two, maybe by this first weekend, I'll open everything up. But one thing you need to know in an online class is that you can get overwhelmed by all the things you have to do. But remember, you have 7 weeks to do this work. So if you think of a face-to-face, there is no face-to-face equivalent to how overwhelming it could be. Imagine if you could experience all of the face-to-face time spent in a course and you could kind of experience it in one moment just by looking or kind of clicking through it somehow. You can't do that. And there's no face-to-face equivalent. The face-to-face environment kind of protects you from that overwhelmingness by forcing you to be in the moment. Whereas an online course, if you click through everything, some of you are going to freak out. So don't do that to yourself. You have to learn how to just say, look, I'm on this week. I don't need to freak out about what's happening next week or the week after that. So eventually, I probably will open the whole class. And so that will help a lot of you that want to get ahead, but a few of you will need to protect yourself, sort of mentally brace yourself because it might seem like much. So, anyway, for week one, I'm going to protect you, or at least for the first 5 days, only have the week one stuff up so that you can kind of learn the structure. So you want to make sure you've read everything on the home page. So this is an announcement feed. I'm sorry if this is obvious, but there are always students, and I teach from undergrad through EDS level students who ignore the news feed, and it has important information on it, and it's going to have important information on it that helps you out throughout the semester. So as part of that checking in 4 days a week or more during the semester, you need to check the news feed. Is there a new announcement? And also, it really helps you if you go into your profile settings. Up here, if you go to notifications and then you input your cell phone number, you can get, and you kind of need to check the settings, but you can set it up to where you'll get announcements when you get new announcements in course news feeds. So anytime a professor makes an announcement in a course news feed across any class, once you set it up, you'll get notifications as text messages. That might be a good way to stay in touch with the course and to know that there's some new information that's been posted. You may also get announcements related to calendar events. Another tip before we go in to the actual content is don't make a mistake that lots of students from undergrad through EDS, they think that the online course is experienced by going through the calendar. That is not the case. So don't think, oh, the scavenger hunt Dropbox is due on June 10th, so that's where I'm going to start. Don't do that. That's there just to help you, but there's a lot of information you need that's actually in the content modules, a lot of instructions, rubrics, advice, that kind of thing. Maybe some examples occasionally, templates that it's the experiences leading up to this moment of submitting. So don't do that because that will just make you less successful. And I know you guys are not wanting that. You want to do it right. You're investing in your education. You want to be as well equipped as you can for your futures. So let's go ahead and make sure you're getting out of it what you need to. So there's two ways to get to content. Of course, you can go through content right here. That's my favorite way. There's also the content browser. This one's just as good. These are the things that you can see right now. You can see a Start Here module, the Start Here Module 1 module. And you can also see this module. It's not really a module, but it is. It's not a named one. It's just the rubrics and resources module. So both of those are revealed as I start opening up later modules that happen after Friday. Let me check my calendar at this date. So this module ends on Friday, June 10th. So as I start to open them up, they'll start appearing in the content browser below the module 1. You'll see module 2 and then module 3 and so on and so forth. And then the rubrics will always be at the bottom. So that's a place where you can go. Why don't we go ahead and check that out first? That's a place where you can find a ton of stuff. Um, just all of the rubrics for how things are graded, and you can download them and look at them. So like this is how the technology explorations assignment will be graded. Um, so that's always there for you. I personally don't like the content browser. Like, I don't know. It's fine, but I like to go through content here. I like to browse it this way. So what we have over here is, your I'll go ahead and click table of contents. So what we've got is your module one, where you're going to start. This is the thing that's due by the end of the first 5 days of class, and there's your rubrics and resources. So if we look over here, we can see the start one, module one here, and all of the things that are inside of it. Um, and something I've added, so let me say a quick thank you to Miss Krillhead. She's actually designed this course. I've taught this course many, many times. I've taught this course more than any other course at the university. I taught it for about 7 years. But I've started teaching a lot of graduate courses. So I haven't taught this course for maybe 2 years. Yeah, I think it may have been 2 years since the last time. That's crazy. But so instead of redesigning it and updating myself, I'm using the most recent version that's taught by Miss Krillhead. And she and I have shared stuff for a long time, for years. We've shared our courses and course materials with each other. So I'm kind of looking forward to just seeing what she's up to in 34.1, and I'm basically facilitating someone else's design, which is, if any of you eventually teach online, that's commonly done. You'll often be given an online course if you teach in K-12. Maybe you're going to teach for Henry County Schools, and maybe you decide you want to teach for their Henry County Online Academy. It's likely that they've got a set curriculum that you can tweak and you can add things to, and personalize and customize and do things for your students. But you'll probably be given designed materials that you then facilitate and breathe some life into as the teacher. So that's what I'm doing this semester. You're not going to see much of my own design in here, but I do thank Ms. Krillhead, but I am kind of learning the course alongside you guys a little bit. So I'm trying to stay ahead of you and try to be here to help you as much as I can. I'm really looking forward to it. But something I've added is a checklist, and I like this tool because if you go into it, you can. I've kind of gone through and I've tried to figure out what are the things I'm asking you to do through all of these pages and documents and things like that. So by the end of module one, you want to make sure you've done these things. Okay? That's my understanding. So that's these checklists when they appear, and I'll try to do these every module. That's me going through the module and saying, okay, I've read through everything. This is what I think you need to do, guys. And if this helps you to use this, great. And once you've done it, you can check it off and it will save it. Okay, so I'm making this welcome video, which is obviously on this welcome, and it'll be placed on this welcome page. We've got some instructions for posting in discussion boards. Here is an actual discussion board. You see these little bubbles. That's been a page where you can actually go and discuss there. I'll try not to reveal that because it's already got a few postings in it, and I don't want to show students' names on a video. And then some information on how to name your files for submission to the Dropbox. It's nice to have a naming convention. And then we've got a module within this module. So within module one, we've got a second module of the scavenger hunt. So we'll get to that in a minute. As you probably know, if you've used CourseDen before, you can literally, once you start with the first item of the module, you can just click, what is it, to the right. So for example, here I'm on the very first item of the module one, and I can just use this thing to navigate through it. Or I can use this thing. Okay, I've also got these breadcrumbs up here. Those are useful to take me back out to a higher level. Or I can use the side panel, and that will tell me where I'm at through all of the items. So I love that. And then as more modules get added, I can click this to go to the next module. Right now, the next module is the rubrics module, and it's not taking me there for some reason. That's okay. All right. So I'm not gonna read you through all of this, but I just want to show you. You want to make sure you do everything on this page, read all these documents, read all this stuff, and then keep moving to the right. Read about discussion boards. I think the next thing is the actual discussion board. I'm going to pass this, so you want to click on this next, and you want to follow the instructions in there, and it will tell you if you need to make follow-up posts. Make sure you do what it says so that I don't have to come in and tell you to make more follow-up posts. That's really your job to monitor yourself. And with such a fast-paced semester as summer, what I'll probably end up doing is just grading it. And if you're missing points, you need to go back and read the instructions on the discussion board. That will tell you why you're missing those points probably. Um, so just make sure you're monitoring that so we don't even have to worry about it. You generally will want to make an initial post and a couple of follow-ups to other people's posts. So I'm going to skip this discussion board because I know it has names on it. I'm going to go to the how to name your files. Make sure that you follow the naming convention. Head C, that's the last name and a first initial. So that's for when you upload documents. All right, so now we're in the scavenger hunt and setup personal blog section. So you're going to do a scavenger hunt assignment and submit that to the Dropbox. And you're going to also create a personal blog this semester. That's where you're going to collect a lot of the things that you're learning. Sometimes you do all these assignments in an online class or in any class, and it's really nice to have a place to collect it all, to collect your learning, your takeaways, um, evidence that you've done things. So that will be your takeaway. In theory, you've got CourseDen that houses all of your work, but the truth is that CourseDen, after a semester ends, within about a month, you're locked out of it, and you can get back into it. It's kept as a record, and professors can access old courses for a period of time until they delete them or they archive them up at the university system level. But it's very hard to get back to your work. So it's really good when a professor has you making a portfolio that's on an outside site that you can then take as a deliverable. If in the future you need to use some of the projects on this Weebly site as a evidence of learning, maybe for other things in your program, for your TK20 portfolio, um, it's really good to have it. The other thing about it, I don't know if it's noted in here much. I don't think it is, but if you want to use an abbreviated or a disguised version of your name, you certainly may do that if you don't want to put your name out there. It could be that the assignment you make today might seem kind of naive in 2 years when you're looking for a job, and maybe you don't want your name on it. You don't want a prospective employer to see what you made when you were, a junior. Maybe by the time you're a senior and you're graduating, you're different. You feel like you're a different person. So just think about that kind of thing. Um, you can give yourself an abbreviated name. You don't have to put your photograph up there. Um, if it says to put your photograph up there, what I will accept in place of that, because I haven't read those Weebly instructions in depth, but you can always come up with another image to put up there. Just try to follow copyright and fair use. Fair use says that for educational sort of nonprofit purposes, and it's way more complicated than what I'm telling you. I'm giving you the very simple version. But basically, as long as you're not profiting from what you're doing, and if you cite the source of the image, you should be able to use it. You should be able to defend your use of it. It's when you start profiting, charging money, turning a buck for the use of other people's images, and you use them extensively. Let's say you scan a bunch of images from a single book. That's when you start getting abusive. But a single image that you find is great if you cite the source. You say I've used this in accordance with fair use, that kind of thing. So great places to you might want to Google fair use, but there's a lot of good websites online where you can find things that are Creative Commons licensed, and there's not just one Creative Commons license. You want to go read what the license says you can do, because some people will ask you to not use their stuff at all. Some people will say you can do it as long as you give attribution to them, so you have to cite where it came from, that kind of thing. All right, so welcome to the course. That would be the extent of the module. You want to get all of these things done by Friday. If you go to the welcome page, the syllabus has a lot of information in it, but in addition, we've pulled out the class assignment outline and the points and scale. So these are both in the syllabus, but sometimes it's handy just to go straight to the outline. Like, that's a super valuable tool. But what you can see here is, according to this, the Module 1 assignments that are due are these. the discussion board number 1 will be due. The scavenger hunt is due. Setting up your personal blog is due. These are due Friday, June 8th at 8 p.m. And they're due to discussion boards. The scavenger hunt is due to a discussion board. And yeah, it's not really clear. Not a discussion board. The scavenger hunt is due to a Dropbox. So I will add a little note here. Actually, no, I think it's perfect. You're going to be submitting in the discussion board, you're going to be submitting in Dropboxes, and you are going to be creating a Weebly artifact. I think that's what is meant by that. Okay, perfect. So keep your eye on this. Anytime I make changes of these things, I would note them at the bottom and let you guys all know through an announcement. But do let me know if you have any questions. Let me say one other thing. Since I didn't design this course, what I usually do is I put links to Dropboxes and discussion boards within the module. But I don't know that that's going to be the case here. So anytime you're told to submit something to Dropbox or discussion board, if you don't find the link inside the module itself, so inside of the, the module that's been designed, you can always go straight to discussions or Dropbox here. Select Dropbox. Here you can see all of these Dropboxes. And same thing for discussions. And if you find that I'm telling you to access a discussion, but the discussion is hidden, none of these look hidden, but if you find that to be the case, just let me know and I will unhide them. Okay, I really look forward to working with you guys this semester. And I will leave you with that because a 17-minute video is probably way too long. All right, thanks.